Well, hello there. Yes, I know what you might ask. My next video was supposed to be covering every Deadpool video game ever. But here's the thing. A new Deadpool game for VR is coming out in just a few days and I will definitely be playing it. So I felt it'd be correct to wait just a little more before my Deadpool video is ready and I actually play every single video game with him ever. Now something else entirely happened yesterday that got me to make this video. Daredevil finally dropped in Marvel Rivals. An event so big for me, I've been waiting for it ever since the game was announced. Most might not know, but Daredevil is the reason I started this channel. I always thought my favorite character did not get enough love, so nearly all of my initial videos were covering him, in both comics and video games. And today, I just want to do something I love again. I want to talk Daredevil. Specifically, his complete death in main media, how much struggle the character has gone through over the past 8 years to make a return, how he was completely absent and ignored from cartoons, and especially video games. He just wasn't in them anymore. And finally, his long-awaited comeback to main media and what I actually think about it. If we look back to the year of 2019, things looked grim as hell. Daredevil show, highly critically acclaimed and very much fan-loved, gets its third season. And while being very good, and in my opinion the best season of the show, Netflix just cancels it completely. And while people speculated what might have happened at the time, it's clear now. Disney was making their own Disney Plus platform, and Netflix decided to sever all connections they had with them, seeing as they would become part of their competition soon. Not long after Daredevil's demise, Jessica Jones and Punisher's shows followed up too, and they were also strongly fan-loved. The Eminem tweet at the time specifically cracked me up. And even though everyone understood it was just business, unfortunately the character has completely disappeared from the bigger media outside of comics. Marvel has promised that Daredevil will return in some other projects, but nothing was certain. And as the years went by, I won't lie, the hope started dying. The actors were interviewed over the years and asked if anything is planned, to which they quite blatantly replied, no. And you'd think they were lying at the time because Disney told them so, but when Deborah Ann Wall mentioned on the interview that she's literally going broke because she has no jobs planned at all, you're kinda starting to believe them. And quite honestly, at that time, I kinda gave up on Daredevil in live action. I still had my comics, but it was sad, I cannot lie. Things looked grim for 3 years, up until the end of 2021, when the Lord and Savior of Marvel has made his comeback. There were many rumors about Spider-Man No Way Home. It might have previous actors come back, it might have Green Goblin come back, it might be the best Marvel movie of all time, and the hype was actually real. For me specifically though, I was hoping for a Daredevil return. Not even to see him on the big screen, no. I just wanted Marvel to confirm that the character's, still alive, that they still haven't forgotten about him. I wanted any confirmation because we've had nothing for years. And we got it. Matt Murdock made a very small but memorable appearance, and now Daredevil is known to be a very good lawyer, rather than a man without fear.
I'm a really good lawyer.
And that shows just how popular that movie was at the time. You can literally go under any Daredevil video in the past few years and find someone type, well, that's because he's a very good lawyer. With Spider-Man out, the future seemed bright. Marvel was still on the cinema throne at the time, and I was hyped to see the next season of Daredevil. I could not have been more excited for the future of MCU in 2021. And guess what? For some reason, Marvel did not utilize the renewed popularity of the character. They simply did not even think of making a new season of Daredevil. Not that year, a year after that, or even a year after that too. No, instead, they decided to make She-Hulk. Like, what the fuck, Marvel? They baited me to watch that show, by the way, to see my favorite character come back, and most of that show was really painful. I know it gets a lot of crap, but it's just not a very good show, and that's a fact. Oh, but there was a glimmer of hope. The Daredevil episode on that show was actually somewhat watchable, decent kinda. Matt shows up in court against She-Hulk, easily beats her, and shows her how a true lawyer operates. He then suits up and fights her for a few minutes later. And while there is no competition fighting a woman that actually defeated Hulk himself, we can see that Matt is now more agile, they're willing to put in more budget, and Daredevil operates in character. Like, yeah, this is Matt Murdock, I know. I'm kinda liking this. But the rest, I can't lie, I was very scared for the next season of Daredevil. Marvel then starts getting its first ever movie flops in cinema the following year, one after the other. And if just a couple of years earlier it seemed like no one could defeat Marvel in cinema, Now they're just making plain bad movies that are not even making money anymore. And at this point, it's been over 5 years from the last Daredevil season, and there are still no news of any Daredevil related projects at all, anywhere, not even leaks. And at this point, if a couple years earlier I knew I would never skip a Marvel movie in cinema, now I'm not so sure if I want to go see Marvels on the big screen. In fact, I never did. And right around this grim time, we get the announcement that they finally decided to start making a new Daredevil show called Born Again. Well, thanks. Now is just the right time. You clearly didn't know what else to do because everything else was failing. After many failures and losing hundreds of millions of dollars, we get into 2024. MCU execs finally slapped themselves in the face and decided to lock in. Like, what are we doing here? Can we start making money again, please? And before it's too late, they fired the entire team of writers and directors for Daredevil Born Again. Then they hire new ones and tell them to get good. Now, was it very late? Absolutely. But was it too late? In my opinion, maybe not. As the next year comes, well, this current year, 2025, we finally get to watch Daredevil Born Again. And yes, the show is definitely worse than the original, like by a lot. But there's a catch, because if you know the creative hell that's been happening behind the scenes, they kinda pulled off a miracle. You see, new team had to make whatever was filmed already, which was considered atrocious by their bosses, and then try and make it into something actually decent. And then, sporadically, in sweat and tears, also film whatever they could to add to that mess, and actually make it somewhat cohesive. And despite the craziness, in my opinion, the new show has some good moments. Specifically the episodes filmed by the new team. You see, the best episodes, in my opinion, that being episodes 8 and 9, and the beginning of the first one, were filmed by the new team, and they are actually somewhat decent. I like them. They were filmed just a few months before the actual show released, so they didn't have much time, but I think they did all they could. The rest of the show, though, definitely feels like it was filmed somewhere in 2023, when you couldn't really watch Marvel that much, it was too bad. But the team that made the rest of the show is now thankfully fired. And you know what that means? The new team that made the good stuff is now making season 2 of Born Again. And I don't know about you, but that gives me at least a little bit more hope. Especially considering the third season was already greenlit too, which is a big contrast to the whole team being fired a year prior. So considering everything, maybe, just maybe Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is going to be better than the first one. And we might even get a good third season too, if we pray enough. When it comes to video games, after being absent in them for years, literally, Daredevil is coming back here too, being a new character in Rivals, and an upcoming character in Marvel Mystic Mayhem, the two main live service Marvel games right now. So there is some room to play as Daredevil finally. I'm so tired of modding him into games. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't for Daredevil Born Again, I don't think we'd be playing as Daredevil in Marvel Rivals right now. When the game first launched, I was looking out for every leak to see when he's actually gonna get added, and he was nowhere in sight. We've got leaks for characters that are actually coming out in Season 1, 2, and 3, but not Daredevil. He first popped up only in August of this year, and I'm pretty sure he was a late addition to the roster and was not planned to be in the game this soon. And I'm 100% sure the show's popularity contributed to that. So the show technically helped us play the games too. Added to that, we have this new little Spider-Man cartoon currently playing called Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and Daredevil is a notable face there too with confirmed appearances in next seasons. And just so you know, Daredevil hasn't appeared in Marvel cartoon in like 3 decades. Since the 90s Spider-Man, he was completely absent from that genre, as crazy as that sounds. So, if we look at the bigger picture, we've got ourselves Daredevil coming back into the spotlight in video games, live action, and the smaller shows.
Sweet dreams, kid.
One final thing would be maybe a movie, but I can't hope for that. Although with Spider-Man confirming Punisher will be there, Daredevil might appear too. And quite honestly, I could not be happier. As for the larger MCU, this year they seem to finally be getting some of its success back. A tiny smidgen. In my opinion, both Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts were at least, good, watchable. So if they keep up at that pace, they might even start earning money again. So I don't know about you, but I'll be cautiously but optimistically waiting for Daredevil Born Again Season 2, while trying to hit Lord on Daredevil in Rivals. Maybe I'll make this an annual tradition, picking out a character I like and seeing what happened to them over a year, with the first one being Daredevil, but we'll see. If you liked the video, I'd really appreciate your like and subscription. See you soon. Bye bye.